Hi guys, Peter Designs here. Today I will show you some building. Here in front of me I have got a church. You might think that it is a bit peculiar. Well, yeah, for sure. It is made only of slabs and stairs, but it is actually based on a real church that is called Gijs Van Vaerenbergh, if I can pronounce it correctly, because it is from Belgium, so it's a hard name for me. I'm really sorry for that. In English, it is so-called see-trough church. It's a good name for it, I believe. It's located in Belgium, in Limburg, like I said before. And I think this is one of the most creative churches that are built around the world. So, not to lose any more time, let's start building. Hi, it's me up there on the grass. Hello. Okay, so I think we can start with the slabs that make the outer edge of the church. It's kind of a layout for the walls, so it is very important. So let's do it quickly. Now we can start filling the concrete. I think that the light gray will look the best. Now we can take our building blocks, dark oak slab, dark oak stair, dark oak fence, and some other block that will stand out. I used birch wood because it stands out a lot. Okay, so let's go to building. So first we need to start with 3 blocks wide entrance space, and then we can build around some slabs. And just remember to place them on the top layer of the block. So that's the start of our church. Then we will add slabs layer by layer. Uh, and we will replace some of them with stairs at the end to make the suspicion that the different layers do not float but are suspended with beams that go vertically. So now when we finished the first 6 layers, the seventh one is a bit different. It's basically a very long rectangle, so you don't have to play with shapes just like before. It's much easier this time. You will see this layer in a second up from above. The eighth layer is basically a 5 by 5 square built up. That will be the beginnings of the tower, and then up from there, next very long rectangle built to the west side of the church. Next, we again have a 5 by 5 layer, just with a straight line attached that again goes to the west side of the church. And now the last 5 by 5 square the simplest one so far because we don't need to attach anything to it. Now we will work with the windows. Just punch out 3 blocks from the second layer above. We need to start on the second block uh, from the beginning of the church, let's say, and then 2 block space and again a window, and again 2 block space and a window. We can do the same thing on the other side, just like you can see. Now we can come back to the tower. We will build 2 layers of 5 by 5 squares, but without the blocks on the edges. We will lose the perch for now, but then we will destroy it, leaving an empty space or a block of air, how you would prefer to call it. This is Minecraft, all in all. Um, yeah, so just like that. The next layer is a 3 by 3 space square. We need to build 2 layers like that, and then will be the next 3 layers of 4 by 4 I'm sorry, 3 by 3 squares, but again with the edges cut off, just like you can see on the video. On top of that, we will build three next layers, but this time with stairs, so that it looks like there is support to them. On top of that, 4 fences. And that's the end of the tower. Now we can start adding the vertical beams. I suggest you to start from the windows part, because then you will be able to frame the windows nicely and add random pieces later. You will like provide a feeling that the windows are there and they will be more visible. So just like I said, try to frame them and then do the rest. I think I also forgot to tell you about the windows on the towers. Those are 2 blocks high, and you can place them basically anywhere on the tower. I just felt like this spot is the best one for them. And again, you can try to frame them before adding additional beams. Now that all of the windows are framed, we can start placing these vertical beams, like I like to call it, just stairs in easy language. Just make sure not to place one above the other, because it quite ruins this feeling of like a planned mess, because it's like obvious that you need to pre-plan where these beams are going in real life, just to make the church stay and not fall down, not collapse. But it's quite a mess. It's like an organized mess, and we are trying to make this in Minecraft. And also, just if you are curious, I also thought about using trapdoors, not the slabs, because they are kind of thinner, like the real material used in the real church, but it didn't look as good. So you can trust me that these slabs are better idea. So that's basically the church done. Now you can only see that it is quite similar to the previous one. It's cool because actually you can't make two identical ones, or that is very hard. So every one of these churches that you make is kind of special. That's super cool about this build in my opinion, because with redstone like you have to make the same thing to make it work, and with this you can like I don't know, put some character of yours into the build. So that's the church done. Now I will show you how to build these custom trees and terrain. But if you're not interested in that, I want to thank you then for staying with me and looking at this tutorial of the church, and hope to see you in the next video. Thanks. So let's start with the smaller tree. You can basically build one of that and copy them and just change one or two leaves, or delete the fence gate or add another one, and with that you will get a few variants of a very similar small tree. So that's very cool. It's easy to build, it's very fast, and it looks really nice in my opinion. With the bigger trees, you just have to build from the bottom to the top. Just that's how I do it. You need to start with quite a thick trunk and then make it thinner and thinner the way it goes up, and basically decorate it with a few stairs or slabs. If you don't like the design, feel free to tear it down and build it again, just like I do. I change a lot of blocks there because they don't suit me sometimes. It's natural to do. It's even recommended to do because with a few attempts you will get better every time. Just build the tree, then I mean the trunk, then add some branches with fences and gates. Typically 3 to 4. More will be a lot. With less, the tree won't look like a 3D tree. It will look more like a bit of a pixel art from the distance, something like that, because it's hard to show like 3 dimensions with only two branches, because it makes then a flat surface with it. And with 3 branches, you can build to 3 different sides, and you will make something like a triangle, and that's enough to show like the spaciness, or how to call it, of a tree. So that's like an advice from me: build 3 or 4 branches. When it comes to leaves, I always use two types of leaves in one tree. If the tree is big, I think it gives it a bit more variety. It looks cooler then. I always start with the first layer, just very close to the trunk. Then I use the other leaves to cover the first layer with the second one, and then at the end I make all of the small changes. I will explain them as we go. Now, when everything is done, you just need to shape a tree a bit more. To do that, all you need to do is put more leaves where spaces look cut. Like for example, in my tree, the top of it looks like it's very cut, and destroy some leaves where it looks really blocky. And that's all. Next, you want to destroy a few leaves close to the trunk. I know I told you to build the first layer very close, but it's to make the next layer easier to build. But now you can destroy a few blocks, then the tree will uh, will let some light through it, and it will make a good impact on the on how it looks. Right here you can also see that one of the branches sticks out a lot of the tree. Then you can make it shorter, just like I will in a second. When you did all of that, just put some other leaf blocks on the top of that, the other type of leaves. It will add a bit of the variety to the tree, and it will look much cooler. Just make sure to make to add it in like some sort of groups of 4 or 5 blocks, and not scattered around, because it will look much better that way. So thank you to everyone who managed to get to this part of the video. I hope you liked the tutorial. It's really important to me that you enjoy my videos. So please leave comments with ideas what I can make better, what I can upgrade here for you to make the watching experience better. And I will be very thankful for a like, and if you would like to subscribe, I would be very happy then. Thanks again. Bye.